Hello, Saints. We're looking in the Gospel of Matthew today, and we're in chapter 5. The Gospel of Matthew is divided into like 5 sections. It's really well written and has a great story, and in that first section is about the inauguration of the kingdom. And we see that with the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount. That's chapters 5 through 7. And at the beginning of this here, we see that Jesus shows himself to the people as the new Moses. Beginning in verse 1, it reads, "And when he saw the multitudes, he went up on the mountain. And after he sat down, his disciples came to him." And Jesus is sitting down. He's not standing. We've seen movies and stuff. He's on the mountain doing the Sermon on the Mount thing, and he's standing. He's sitting down. It's important because in the ancient world, Hebrew, Greek, the teachers sat on a stool and the disciples literally sat at their feet. You've heard people say, I learned at the feet of so-and-so. Well, back in those days, it was literally at their feet. In fact, when we talk about the papacy, and when he speaks a special saying, it's ex cathedra, it's in his chair, or out of his chair, is what it, more properly. He's sitting down. It's a teaching of authority. It's not just anything he said. This is special, pay attention. And so Jesus takes his place. He's beginning to speak something important. And he does what commonly we understand is the Beatitudes, or the blessings. And there's 8 blessings. Now, when we look at this, and what he's doing, he's on a mount, and he's showing that he is the new Moses. And now why is that important? Because remember back in Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 15. Moses says, "God will send you a prophet like unto me. He will raise him up from among the people. Him you will listen to." Well, this is that prophet that Moses was talking about. Jesus is coming. And on this mountain he gives not 7 new laws, but 7 blessings. And these are generally looked at, these Beatitudes, as if they were what we have to jump through in order to be followers of Christ. Very legalistic approach. And that's not what that is about at all. It's actually the other way around. If you are in the kingdom and a follower of Jesus, this is a picture of what you will be. That's how you have to approach this. Now this is important where we get to this, because those first 4 chapters is Jesus coming to inaugurate the kingdom. In chapter 3, John the Baptist is walking around preaching the message, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And Jesus shows up in chapter 4 preaching the same exact message. And he's preaching the message of the kingdom. Where is the kingdom? It's in the King himself who has come. It's the inauguration of taking the world back from Satan after he got it when man fell back in the garden. And you knew at some point it was going to have to happen. It's happening here. It's not an end time thing. It started way back 2,000 years ago. Jesus came to start taking back the kingdom, one person at a time. And we, who are his followers, he's called us to give that message too. And we are participating with him to take back the kingdom, one person at a time. That's our giving of the gospel and sharing that message of what Christ has done for us. We build the kingdom. You and I are kingdom builders. And Jesus has set the stage now on the mount. It's not so much that it's on the mount or in the plain, but it's the message that he's giving that he wants you to hear. Now these 8 blessings are given in a pattern. The pattern is A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D. They kind of marry with each other as he goes on. There's like 2 sets of 4, and it's alternate is what's connected. He begins with the blessing that says there in verse 3. "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Now he's not talking about poverty-stricken people. He's talking about those who are poor, spiritually speaking. He's talking about the humble. He's not talking about whether you have money or not. But he is appealing to a different class of people than what the Pharisees might appeal to. He says these poor people who are poor in spirit, and Luke says this too, but he uses just poor. Here, Matthew says poor in spirit. He says, theirs is the kingdom of heaven. They have the kingdom. They are the ones living in this present evil world. And they, who are followers of Christ, are the ones who will possess the kingdom. Now the third blessing kind of parallels with that. Blessed are the gentle, or some translations like King James, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. The earth is going to be where the new kingdom is. Remember there at the end of Revelation? New earth, new city. That's where we're at. And so he begins to instruct them about their attitude in being kingdom members. And then we're going to pick that up next time as we continue to talk about the Beatitudes. Blessings.